Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Urban Update. I'm Byron Barnett. On the show this morning, tackling the difficult topic of students in our state colleges and universities who face hunger in the classroom on a daily basis. Also on the program, the annual Roxbury International Film Festival commemorates its 20 years of independent cinema celebrating people of color. But up first, poor people, clergy advocates, and activists all joined together in Boston this past Monday as the historic Poor People's Campaign enters its 5th week with the demand that lawmakers address inequality in Massachusetts. Advocates engaged in a nonviolent rally at the State House calling for living wages, the right for all workers to join unions, fully funded anti-poverty programs, and free tuition at public colleges, among other reforms. The action in Massachusetts is one of 36 nationwide. Over the last 4 weeks, over 50 people have been arrested, as over 1,000 have rallied in Massachusetts as part of the most expansive wave of nonviolent direct action in U.S. history. To tell us more, we've invited Minister Savina Martin, TRI Chair for Eastern Massachusetts Poor People's Campaign. Welcome to Urban Update. Thank you so much for coming in.
Well, thank you for having me.
Wow, you've got a lot on your plate these days. Can you begin with a little overview of the Poor People's Campaign and just what it's all about and how you describe it?
Right. Well, it's 2018, but it is 50 years later after the delay and disruption and assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. In 1967, Dr. King, as eloquent as he was very clear when he delivered at Riverside Church the War on Vietnam speech, Beyond Vietnam. And he spoke about those 3 evils, which was poverty, militarism, and extreme materialism. Well, here we are, like I said, 50 years later, and the Poor People's Campaign, a national call for moral revival, has taken up on those pillars, our fundamental principles, which state the war economy, militarism, poverty, systemic racism, and ecological devastation is a crime against the United States in regards to poverty. And we have resurrected the Poor People's Campaign in over 41 states across the country, including Massachusetts.
How did you personally get involved, and why did you want to be involved in this?
Well, I'm a national activist. Number one, I began my quest as a young United States Army veteran. I began working in Boston around issues of homelessness after I had experienced that myself for 13 months. And ever since then, I have dedicated my life's work to issues around poverty, in particularly veteran homeless women. And I'm one of the founders of the Women's Institute for New Growth and Support, home that still to this day, 28 years later, provides housing for homeless women in Roxbury.
Now, talk about that issue. What are some of the other issues that you're trying to get lawmakers to address?
Well, actually, the lawmakers really know what they need to address. We are within this 40 days of nonviolent moral direct action. We are unearthing the dialogue and the discussion around poverty. Let's see, during the election debates, there was about 26 debates, and not one full hour combined was discussed around issues of poverty, systemic racism, structural issues that perpetuate homelessness, lack of education, low wages, and should I go on and on? So we're applying pressure. There is a hemorrhage in this country whereby people cannot afford to provide market rent. We know that people are living in bridges and in subway stations and in shelters, so we have an issue of homelessness, not only in Massachusetts, but this country. We have over 140 million people. That's 43.5 people living in poverty. Something is wrong.
Tell me about the rally you had earlier this week.
Mm-hmm. For the last
big crowd in front of the State House.
Absolutely. For the last 5 weeks, we have, on a national level, conducted rallies and demonstrations that were themed. Each week we had a theme. The first week we started out with Somebody's Hurting My Brother. We have a lot of songs that are engaged in our protest, and then there's direct action after every single action. So earlier this week we were engaged with Everybody's Got a Right to Live, and we focused on a living wage, housing, income, and other poverty issues. And we shut down the city. We decided that we would rally at the State House and then march to the financial district. And once we got to the financial district, we had a design tactic, which was to sit down in the seat of finances, right? The different investment firms and Fidelity banks, and we shut down the traffic for 4 hours.
Wow. Now, we're in your 5th week now, as you said.
Yes.
Do you feel, what results do you feel you're making an impact at all? And do you feel that you're being listened to by the right people?
I think we are. Yesterday, Reverend, and let me give a shout out to Reverend William Barber II and also Liz Theo Harris of Repairers of the Breach and the Cairo Center in New York City. And yesterday at the U.S. congressional hearing, and you can pull up the link and watch Senator Elizabeth Warren, Elijah Cummings, Senator Bernie Sanders, and a host of other lawmakers listening to the impacted. And that's what the national campaign is about. The Poor People's Campaign, a national call for moral revival, shows the faces, facts, and figures of those that have been directly impacted by poverty, healthcare issues, insurance issues, and housing and livable wages.
And how do you see the movement going forward?
We are going to continue to apply pressure, in particularly as we prepare to go to Washington, D.C. for our Global Solidarity March and rally. We are coming back with an even stronger campaign to apply pressure on voter suppression issues and poverty within the communities.
In the age of Donald Trump, do you feel you're swimming against the tide or against the wind?
In some respects, I think he makes the work a little bit more easier. If Bush had been in office or Obama, we still would have been doing the same thing. Something is wrong in this country, and people are hungry. They're desperate. Poverty is very uncomfortable, and making a few others uncomfortable is a small victory as we continue to dismantle some of these policies.
Okay, and we'll leave it right there. Minister Savina Martin with the Eastern Massachusetts Poor People's Campaign, one of the tri-chairs. Thanks for coming in, and good luck with your movement.
Thank you.
Okay. Last week, Harvard Street Neighborhood Health Center held a community open house to invite folks from the neighborhood to stop by and take a new look at this important healthcare facility located right in the heart of the community. Alberto Lasalle stopped by the open house and gives us this quick update.
That's right, Byron. I am here on Blue Hill Avenue in Dorchester, right in front of Harvard Street Neighborhood Health Center, where they are celebrating an open house where they've invited the community. Come on, you know what? Let's take a look.
We have a comprehensive health center. That means we have dental, we have adult medicine, we have pediatrics. I mean, the whole gamut. So when you come here, you get full service in the community. You really don't have to go anywhere else. I think the biggest thing we want to make sure is that they know there's not only quality service, but top-notch customer service, because we care about what happens in our community, and healthcare access is extremely, extremely important to the community, and they need to know that we're here not only to serve, but to serve with respect and dignity.
I found someone very important here. She's the nutritionist here at Harvard Street Neighborhood Health Center. How are you, Julie?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Okay, so you're going to quiz me now?
I am, yes. We have a calorie guessing game.
All right, calorie guessing game. Let's see. So it's either 300, 200, or 100, right?
Exactly. So
Well, can I go one what I know? All right. 300.
exactly right for the peanut M&Ms.
So you know what? I got at least one right, and I'm going to stop right here.
It's always been a positive place in the community. I've started coming here in 1975. shortly after they opened this clinic up, and I've been coming ever since.
I grew up in the area, born and raised, and to know that even when I was in between jobs after being laid off, I was able to get such great service and help, and the people were just so courteous and thoughtful that even after I was able to get, the insurance that I wanted at my new career, I said I still want to continue coming here because just the way I felt, the culture.
All right, so we've given you a little bit of a tour of this wonderful facility here right in the middle of the community. The only thing left for me to do is find out if I won the raffle. I was hoping to win the 55 flat screen TV. Anyways, for Urban Update, I am Alberto Vasallo.
Okay, Alberto, thank you very much. And in just a few, a topic rarely discussed, students experiencing food insecurity and hunger in Massachusetts public colleges and universities. The details right here on Urban Update.